Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create an altered wine box. This is a project for the Crafters Castle Challenge blog. The digital kit for this project comes from Tailor-Made Cards for You. This is the Passport to Italy digital kit, which contains several awesome papers that you can download instantly and utilize for your projects. I hope that you'll appreciate this exciting project and that you'll get some inspiration from it and consider how you could make an altered box using the Passport to Italy digital kit. Let's get started. In addition to showing you those digital images from Tailor-Made Cards for You, I wanted to show you on camera these papers and design elements that come with the Passport to Italy digital kit. I have it brought up on my iPad so you can see what it looks like when you go to the Tailor-Made Cards for You site. And here I have it printed out. This is a 4x4 printout with some scripts, words, as well as some stamps and other vintage feeling type items that make up one of the papers. So super cool, very cool look to it. Here it is 2x2, the same design basically, a little bit larger and blown up. Now this is where I got my inspiration from, the page with on the left with the grapes, and also on the right there is a journal note page that you can print. But the grapes were my inspiration and the green in the background. All right, so those are the pages that come with it. Let's get started. So this is what I mean by a wine box. Basically, it's a wooden box with a clasp that opens up and you can place a bottle of wine inside. What I'm going to do is alter this box. I'm going to paint it and then use the pages and paper and ephemera from the Passport to Italy digital kit to create an altered project, something that you could set on your table and also you could give as a gift with a bottle of wine. Here you'll see that I started painting it. I left a little bit of it blank so we can paint together. I painted the outside burgundy, the color of some wine, and the inside I painted this green because it reminded me of the page that we looked at earlier with the grapes on it. And I also think that these colors go well together. And I like this color green. So I'm going to go ahead and get some acrylic paint. It's just cheap acrylic paint. And I'm going to go ahead and finish painting this box. I left a little bit of it blank so you can see. I basically just have a styrofoam tray. I've got some cheap craft paint. Going to shake it up, going to pour it, and again, the color is wine. Pour it on this tray and finish my painting. I'm going to fast forward for the sake of time. These boxes are pretty easy to paint. You can get them in all kinds of styles. You don't have to get one with the wood, the extra wood around it. You can get just a flat box if you'd like. You just want to be careful when you're painting around the brackets. You don't want to paint them at all. Leave them unpainted. And you want to make sure that you don't build up paint in the crack between the two, top and bottom. Otherwise, it won't shut. So that's what I did. I finished painting the box. Okay, for the sake of time, I am going to keep this going relatively quickly. I have adhered my main focal point to the front of the wine box. This is where I got my inspiration, so I used this image first. And I used some general just spray adhesive to adhere it to the wood. I did back it with chipboard first, and the chipboard is basically recycled cereal box. And the same with all my ephemera. I back it with recycled cereal box. So while you're watching this, let me just tell you a little bit about the Crafters Castle Challenge blog. So I'm making this video for the Crafters Castle design team, and every month there is a challenge at the Crafters Castle blog. And you are welcome to please check it out. Please enter a card or a project and you will be eligible to possibly win a prize. Each month there is a prize given away. The sponsor is Tailor Made Cards for You, and I'll have a link below to both the blog for the Crafter's Castle and for Tailor Made Cards for You below in my description box. There are several other people on the design team, and I would encourage you to please check out their videos as well for inspiration. It just amazes me how we all start with the same digital kit, but we all come up with different things. It's just really cool how the creative process works. So right now I have a stencil and I have texture paste, and what I'm doing is adhering the stencil to the bottom of the box using some spray adhesive. It's that Duro Bond. It's a temporary adhesive, but it does a really good job of keeping that stencil in place while I put the texture paste down. Texture paste is like a modeling clay. It's thick and it lays down a nice surface that can create texture. And also it can be painted, it can be sprayed with spray. You could use something to color it in with. It's just an all-around really great product to use. And then I'm just going to peel the stencil up and move it down to the bottom of the box and finish this layer of texture paste. Now this doesn't take very long to dry, and I'm going to color it later, but I first have to get it down so that it does dry when I'm ready then to design it. After the texture paste is applied, then I'm just going to gently pull the stencil up and let that dry. Next, I'm going to show you how I created my ephemera. Using the recycled cereal boxes and glue, I just basically adhered the papers to the cereal box to give it solid backing, and then use some vintage photo distress ink to make the tags, ephemera, little pieces look aged. And I have a whole bunch here that I created. That's what's great about digital kits. You can make them different sizes to suit your needs. These are from the one page of ephemera. I just made them in various different sizes, and I printed them out and I backed them with cereal box and used the vintage photo distress ink to make it look vintage. So taking another look here at my project, it seems that I've lost a little bit of the video. If you're wondering how my texture paste became colored, I have some surface spray that I used. It's Brutus Monroe surface spray, but I sprayed it onto my styrofoam plate, and I just used a sponge dauber to daub it onto the texture paste. I didn't want to spray it directly because I knew it would be too much splatter and it would look too intense. I just was going for something subtle. It is, after all, a background, but it does show through when I adhere all of the bits and pieces here to the box. And this is just me showing you how I lay things out and kind of design my next step. I have a couple extras that I brought in. I have some flowers, a couple stickers, and some foliage. This is a globe, and I thought that was appropriate since it is a digital passport kit. I also have a 3D passport sticker, and then I have some flowers that I brought in. Once I get an idea of how I want this to be laid out, I actually take a picture of it with my phone. Then I have something to refer back to when I go to glue everything down. And that's the next step, gluing everything down. Now, I'm going to pause and go at normal speed here to show you how I am gluing these items into the wooden box. I have this Beacon 3-in-1 glue, and I want to say thank you to Janie, who is the design team director for the Crafter's Castle. She was the one who talked about this being a really good glue, and I would have to agree. It works very well. I'm not sure what it is based out of, but it works differently than other glues, and it gives you a lot of time to do wiggle room. So if you need to adjust your placement, you have the chance to do that without any problem. So I'm glad that I'm using that type of glue with this project, and I want to say that it worked out very well. So thank you, Janie, for letting me know about that. Getting back to the items, that was a little word in Italian. Just gluing that down, and you can have your items going in different directions. It doesn't always have to go across. You see I put that one up and down, and there I have some of that script, sort of like a letter, and I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to put the globe on top of that. I'm just going here and layering everything. I'm using a acrylic stamp block to put pressure on the item so that the glue adheres better. Because the glue is pretty slippery, this little sticker kept slipping around, so I just had to stop messing with it and let it a chance to bond, in other words. The same way with my flower, this fabric flower, I had a hard time getting it to stick, but I'm sure it was user error. The first time I ever used this glue, was for this project. This tag is really cool, and then we have like a little invoice with the grapes on it and a couple stamps in Italian. So I'm going to fast forward as I finish putting the ephemera inside the box. Getting near the end of my project here, I have a couple little wine bottles here that are miniatures. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them with hot glue gun down to a piece of my chipboard element, and then slide that into the wine box. These are cool little wine bottles, and they make a nice little set just to add some interest to the inside of the wine box. After I have all these glued down to the chipboard, I go ahead and let them sit for a minute so that they can bond properly, and then I make sure that they're going to fit inside the wine box, and they do. Now this piece is going to go in the back of the wine box. I basically just used some oval dies to cut out different papers from the kit, and then the paper with the wine on it. Wanted to make sure that that repeated on the back of the wine bottle. I also added some dimension to this part, including some flowers and foliage. It just does give it some dimension. It makes it look interesting, I think. Adding that dimension with Beacon 3-in-1, and then adding it to the back of the wooden box. But first I lay some of the pattern paper from the kit down, paper the back of the box. Using 3M, I spray to the back of the paper, and then lay that on the back of the box, then lay this dimensional piece on. And I add a little bit of other ephemera later on. Okay, thanks so much for watching my video today. I was thinking the last time I created a video for the Crafter's Castle, I didn't have a voice and I was getting over a really, really bad cold. So I'm so excited that I had my energy this time and I was able to create a project that was different, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving me a thumbs up. I love to connect with folks over YouTube, and I enjoy posting videos a couple times a week. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Bye-bye.